What is up, guys? Sawcasm here, and today I have for you guys, I think, my best Call of Duty gameplay to date. This is a 158-3 domination ground war on the map Meltdown, along with an 80 kill streak. This game went so right for me. Like, I can't even explain to you how excited I am about this game. But this is honestly one of, in my opinion, the more impressive 100+ on YouTube. And I don't really like to sound too cocky usually, but I'm just so proud of this gameplay. Like, you guys have no idea. I struggled for a little bit to get the 100+, and this was my first one. So it's pretty ridiculous that my first 100+ is 158 kills. So this gameplay is mostly rushing, especially towards the middle of the gameplay. On the first streak that I got, like right here, I was sitting back a little bit and waiting, so I was playing a little bit defensively for my first streak, and that is something that is really important, especially if you are struggling to get your first set of streaks like I was. Like, I realized in the previous games I was really having a hard time. I was dying a couple off of my streaks, and you know, every single game I was still having decent games, but I'm like, if I got that streak right there and I just died right off of it, but if I didn't die right there, you know, I actually got that streak, this game could have been a whole lot better. So I took that into account this game. I'm like, let me sit back, let me take it slow, you know, take a breather, and get this first streak at least, and knock this streak out, and then hopefully that should pave the way for the rest of the game. And I was absolutely right. That is pretty much how it went down. So, you know, you see I'm being a little bit slow for this first streak, but then it picks up a lot towards the middle of the gameplay. I almost died right there. There's a couple of really close calls this game, but yeah, so anyway, guys, the class setup that I'm using is the MSMC with 3 attachments. Now, this is like the third game that I'm using with 3 attachments on this gun in particular, and I'm really liking it so far. Basically, what I am using overall is the silencer, extended mags, as well as the grip. Now, I know some people think that the grip isn't really necessary, but it's really not necessary. It's kind of not a necessity, but it is a luxury that I really like to have. It really improves my SMG game at like medium to long range. It actually makes them viable weapons, and I know they are already viable weapons, but at longer ranges, sometimes you do tend to struggle because they have a little bit too much recoil. And I'm sorry, guys, if I sound a little shaky right now. I got this gameplay 6 hours ago. This is like after staying up all night trying to get 100+. I told myself I wasn't going to go to sleep until I got one. And then at like 11 in the morning, I got it. And then I went back to sleep. And then, because I was just ridiculously tired and shaky and hyper. And now I'm just a little bit shaky and hyper, because this gameplay just absolutely boggled my mind. So yeah, and I didn't want to do the commentary then, but yeah, this was like 6 hours ago or whatever. And so yeah, you see my swarms go absolutely MC hammer this game. I did call in my swarm and my dogs at the same time in this streak. Sometimes I don't, depending on when I get them. Some people think that this is the way to get the most amount of kills. You know, you want to call them in at the same time. Some people think you want to spread them out in order to get the most amount of kills, because they'll both be getting kills of their own. But in this time, I just called them both right away. Sometimes if I get my dogs first and I don't get my swarm, even though they are close to each other, but I'll just call in my dogs to help me get the swarm, just so I could pretty much guarantee that I can actually get the streak. And here I get that guy, and I almost run out of ammo, and I had a little bit of trouble towards the end of the game, so I just like hid and I waited for the timer to go out, and I think I picked off one guy, and I got my load star this game. So the load stars in this game, I got 3 of them. I got 3 sets of streaks this game. I failed on the 4th set, but the 3rd set, the load stars this game were pretty much, I want to say, the best kill streaks for me. They did the most for me in this game. The load stars went absolutely ham. The swarms did well as they usually do, but the load stars are really, I don't want to say underrated, because I think people are starting to figure out that these things actually get you a lot of kills, but it just did so much more than I expected. And the really great part about it, if you can get to it, you know, I use hardline, so I'll continue going over my class setup in a second. So I use hardline, but even if you don't, you know, and you are able to get it, as your first streak, it can pretty much always guarantee you to get you your dogs and swarm if you find a good spot. That's really all there is to it, especially on the majority of maps. There are some maps that it just completely is trashed at, but a map like Meltdown, if you get them in the right spawn, you know, the right place, right time, it can go absolutely MC hammer. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And here I get a little bit nervous because I thought I was gonna die off that streak. But right there, extended mags came in handy for sure. But anyway, guys, continuing on my class setup, the first perks that I use the perk 1 wildcard greed, and I take Ghost and Hardline. Ghost stay off the radar, obviously, and Hardline is a 20% score decrease in whatever streaks you're using. So for the higher streaks, that's absolutely huge. That's ridiculous, and it really makes your job a lot easier to get those higher streaks. And the second perk that I'm using is Scavenger. Sometimes on some SMGs I'll switch this out for Toughness. Toughness is really good, but I don't really feel it was necessary for the way that I was playing, or the way that I wanted to play this game, and that is getting behind the enemies like you see here and taking them out that way rather than getting into a head-to-head gunfight, which I tend to struggle with in this game. That's something that I am still working on doing consistently, because sometimes the maps just don't allow you to flank. The way the maps are set up, there's like a couple choke points on each direction. Sometimes there's just people set up at like 2 out of the 3 possible directions, and then the middle one is just like completely exposed, and it's not a really good flank route. So sometimes flanking is not always a viable option, and sometimes you need to hit the enemies in a 1 vs 1 head-to-head gunfight. Anyway, guys, there's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed. Final score 158-3. Please leave a like on this video if you enjoyed. I know we could hit 1,000 likes, and if we do, it would be absolutely incredible, and I would truly appreciate it. Thank you for the constant support on my videos and etc. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of the gameplay, and as always, if you hated the video, be sure to dislike it, leave some hateful comments, and unsubscribe. Thanks for watching. Pow!